Kono na kuyimsa bazanga ko yakuyamba baba na bako wakutuza zero nzize kwebaza obangwije kusima eri abalina emitima egirumirirwa bazanga ko yakuyamba baba na bako wakutuza ekigambo okuyamba ndokizanyisa abangi babeera n'obusobozi n'ekibalema okukola bazanga ko yakuyamba baba na bako wakutuza abamu bemulaba abanene munsi muno bakunyumiza gyavudde zikuba munezaaka bazanga ko yakuyamba baba nabako wakutuusa gwe abangi kwabo bafiirwako abazadde ku myaka emimpi ddala wamatunuulira obulumi bazanga ko yakuyamba baba nabako wakutuusa abalala basalawo n'okuddukira ku nguudo kubanga basigalawo okubayamba abaab'ensamba bazanga ko yakuyamba baba namwe abayamba mumanyi okwefuula eri abo be muyambye ne mubasimbamu oluseke eriyo ne bendabye abalaga okulumirirwa ne bajja ng'abayamba nga beenoonyeza byabwe
Yes, welcome to the African Reports. Once again, we're back. Yes, with the African, political lenses, and then where focus is basically Uganda. Just let a friend know, yes, we're back again inside the political lenses as we drive into the corridors of power. Just it's a day of, I think it's the 20th. March 2026, and by virtue of the weather, yes, we're going away from the cold times. Yes, looking outside, it's a little bit dark here in Copenhagen, Denmark, and it's just 4 degrees right now, degrees Celsius. So yes, it's still not the best, but at least we're moving. Yes, for those who have just joined our show, it's an area we're just going to deal with, and it's just politics basically. But the world is really so much into turmoil and then turmoil that it is what it is. A lot is not happening right. When you go into the Middle East, it's really alarming. Everything is on stampede. If you look at the economic side of it, everything is on standstill. Flights, basically a lot. And when it comes to, globally, the world is totally in a mess. But those who are really doing good, indeed, we really do appreciate. Those who are having birthdays on day to day, just say happy birthday to you. And those who've been encountering, challenges, it's just today. Tomorrow, things are going to change. Keep on subscribing to our channels, African Reports, and then go to our African Reports page on Facebook. We're also live on Chile Uganda page, or still on Facebook. So just call a friend and let them know we've started. We have a question which is really so interesting. My question is all about Bobi Wine. But I always want to ask myself, can someone outside the visible corridors of power still have political conversations? Is the influence tied by, presence, or it's just perception? Allow me to welcome my guest. Guest is quite always interesting. Bwana Eddie Cool, by virtue of looks and the way he's dressing, is seeming to be frozen. Though smiling, but the gentleman seems to be freezing. We are supposed to be having another guest. That's DJ Benaso from USA, and he's still having some technical issues. But I think he will be hooking on the ride later. But for now, we shall keep on going with Buana Eddie Cool. Yes, Eddie Cool. It's been time, and I think we last had the talk physically or virtually. Should be 2 weeks, if not 3 weeks back. We are still dealing with politics. But before we go into any lines of politics, how have you
Well, I have been well.
been?
I'm healthy
Mm,
and mentally sound.
mm,
Looking at how things the world is shaping,
mm.
and looks like could be having a new global order.
Indeed.
So yeah, I've been looking at things and also looking at the perspectives in life.
Talking about perspectives in life, you're a fanatic of Barcelona. Any news from that side? Because at least in AFCON, things have changed, tables have changed. The people used to praise so much Senegal. It seems Morocco, by virtue of football politics, the trophy was taken back. They always say that football is won at the pitch, not in court, but things stand around. Anything from Barcelona, Mister? Is there
Before I,
any news?
before I tell you anything from Barcelona, because for Barcelona, whatever happens is real
Mm,
and
mm,
it's visible. But in the African thing,
mm,
sometime back I told you about sports. Sports is not one on in the boxing is not one in the ring.
mm.
It's one in the offices. It's one on tables. Yes, equally football in some case instances, and this is why
Mm,
you see they had to bring in the VAR to bring in some
mm,
other
mm,
referees as well. It's also one on tables somewhere. You know, there are some cash. There are some other guys who cash in a lot of money
mm,
that
mm.
a particular team must win, and they bet. So there's bourgeoisies, the billionaires. They they put in quite a lot of money. They want a particular
Indeed.
team to win. You know, so that is what happened. Is Tunisia, no Morocco. Morocco has been around and has a lot of money. Yes. So
Mm,
they did what they had to do and keep the trophy. That is what they had to do. If you look at everything was whatever was decided now on the pitch
mm.
should have been standing, but because their table is somewhere, they sit and decide and say, "Look here, let's do A, B, C, D." You know, so that's does not surprise me at all. When I look back
Mm.
in boxing and football those other days, then it doesn't surprise me at all. But
Since
what what can
mm,
surprise others is
mm.
Barcelona's consistency. Barcelona, Barcelona is my cloud.
Eddie
Bas-
Cool.
Barcelona will always bring in a wonder kid, somebody, something new. You know, right now we have We have Yamal, Lamin, and
Eddie Cool.
what? No, wait, listen. I don't watch English football anymore
Mm.
because it doesn't
That's
interest me.
why you're missing quality of Arsenal. Fanatics
I'm,
of Arsenal, viva, viva, Eddie Cool. Allow me to take the
allow-
right.
let me tell you, that with Newcastle was up 7 goals in here in Camp Nou. 7 in the Champions League. We would
Is
have
that
gone,
news?
we would have gone to 15.
Eddie Cool. I just wanted to say a little message to our brothers in the Islamic fraternity. I just wanted to say Eid Mubarak, Eid Mubarak, Eid Mubarak. Please
And
enjoy, even though.
allow me congratulate the legal front in Uganda for
Mm,
having again emphasized that they're also still fighting, although given the judicial system that is collapsing, that the computer misuse, whatever, was
Mhm.
was quashed. Anita Among and who? Muhammad
Muhammad
Nsereko
Sereko.
and the Mohozis and the Museveni, which they have been using to arrest so many people because we speak, because people talk. They wanted to gag everybody. It was quashed, and I salute the legal fraternity in Uganda. The RNB is called what is RNB? Do you know how it's RNB? How it's the abbreviations? What is the full RNB?
The school mean that.
No, this is the law society.
Mm.
It's called anyway. I'll remember it. Don't headed by Semakande.
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. Mm.
I want to salute lawyers like Aaron Kiza. Aaron Kiza has been very phenomenal, and some other human rights lawyers whose names I can't mention here right now. I want to salute
Mhm.
them, and I encourage them to go on and put on the fight. Let's never give up. Although we are into a dynasty, a dictatorial dynasty, I mean, there's at least somewhere everybody must do what they have to do. Let the lawyers do their work. We, the Ugandans, must also demand our rights, and we must not give up, you know. So I salute them. I salute all those people who speak up. I sympathize with those who were locked up for a very hopeless and stupid law which had been passed. You know, Anita Mom can pass anything in that so-called parliament. We call
Mhm.
it so-called because even the Minister of Justice called the Speaker of Parliament an accidental speaker. And when you see him campaigning, he tells you that we don't have the speaker is very weak and inexperienced in whatever she does. So that speaks a lot of volume, and that's a minister of justice, a minister of justice who sits into parliament also to pass laws. Now, if
But then let's just wait. You never know. Mao might do the unthinkable, then becomes the speaker, so that all your words you've been scattering like that can at least sound to be a myth. But for those who have just joined us, it's Afroden Reports Political Lenses tonight, and we're just going to trigger our uh, center of focus is basically about the fugitive agenda setter. The man himself decided to escape Uganda due to uncertainties, due to unforeseen issues, due to claims that you, the viewers, sometimes you're claiming. Basically, a lot has been said. You know, when I come to give my perception, it may not bring it actually well. But basically, it's better we get a rider which will give us a better sense of direction so that we can see how best we can look at this topic of today and we see how we can unpack the idea of the fugitive gender setter and we explore how Bobby Wine continues to shape Ugandan's politics, giving it direction even when he's in the shadows or even when he's not in the center stage of Ugandan politics as
of
for
the
now.
things, yes.
Okay. So let's have a rider and then we come back in full gear for our topic of discussion.
They say he ran away. Some say he's acting a comedy for $10 million. Before you believe the propaganda, learn the difference between a coward and a commander. Reality check. You don't call it running away when a man is escaping a sniper. You call it survival. A dead leader cannot lead. A leader buried in prison cannot speak, but a leader standing on global stage exposing injustice before the world. That's the real nightmare of dictatorship. Propagandists like this are not speaking for the people. They are speaking for power. Their job is simple: attack hope, confuse people, break the spirit of struggle. Because once people lose hope, oppression becomes easy.
Fellow Ugandans and friends of Uganda all over the world, by the time you see this video, I will have left the country for some critical engagements outside Uganda. And at the right time, I will come back and continue with the cause. I thank all of you fellow Ugandans who have concealed and protected me for all this time when the regime was looking for me. Those of you who fed me, those who clothed me, and those who offered me shelter. I will not mention your names, but God bless you. I thank the men and women in uniform who defied the illegal orders and instead of arresting me, gave me the information that I needed to keep safe. I thank the priests who prepared mass for me and supported my spiritual life when I needed it most. I thank my family for staying strong in these tough times. I want to thank in a very special way the people of Uganda for your prayers, for your support, and your encouragement. You have once again demonstrated that once you believe in something, especially an idea of liberation, you will contribute the little that you have, including risking your lives and your families to protect those that are fighting for that idea. You did this before in the 1980s, and you have done it again in 2026. And I'm sure you will continue doing it whenever it's necessary. Just different times, different generations, but same mission, a mission to freedom. It's laughable that for almost 2 months, the entire security apparatus of Uganda has invested billions of taxpayers' money to search for me everywhere, but they failed to get me. Why? Because the people have protected me. They have staged roadblocks everywhere, searching vehicles and even forcing motorcycle riders and their passengers to remove helmets, causing traffic jam and inconveniencing citizens, all on the orders of Museveni's son. They have raided homes of my comrades, searching for me. I mean, just 2 days ago, they raided the home of my personal assistant, Comrade Don Sheriff Naja, and when they didn't find me or him, they abducted his wife, and she's still missing up to the present. Good enough, all this was caught on camera. You have seen what happened to the 9 police officers that were assigned to me by the Electoral Commission during the campaigns. They were arrested, they were detained, and now they've been dismissed from the police force with disgrace, apparently because they did not aid the regime in spying on me and preventing me from leaving my house on the 16th of January, even when their assignment was over and they were officially withdrawn on the 15th of January. Now, I want to say this again to you, fellow citizens. We won the 2026 presidential elections. We won it, and Museveni rigged it. And that is why, out of shame and lack of legitimacy, him and his son are searching for me everywhere. They raided my home on the 16th of January, but I was able to escape from them. A few days later, they conducted another raid. And in this raid, they assaulted my wife and family members. They vandalized our house. They stole various items and occupied our home. And up to now, our home is still surrounded by the military. Now, this is why I'm hiding, and that's why I'm leaving the country for a while. We decided to fight back, not only within the country, but also internationally. And among the things that we hope to pursue are targeted sanctions against Museveni and his enablers. We also want those countries that are funding Museveni's killing machine to stop, and if possible, to completely cut ties with the regime in Uganda. In the recent days, we've been speaking on international platforms, although we've been doing it virtually. Now, we are going to be doing it physically. And on that note, I want to notify the comrades and leadership in the diaspora that I will be with you in the coming days. Let us prepare to lobby, to mobilize, to organize and push back against the violations in Uganda. In my absence, my Deputy President, Dr. Lina Zedriga, who has just been released from prison, will be acting president. After doing my work on the international platform, I will return back to my country and let the regime do whatever they want to me in full view of the world. After all, I've not committed any crime. Running for president is not a crime. For now, I ask you, comrades, to remain firm, to remain united, and to keep the hope alive. People power, our power. Our power, people power. For God and my country.
The logic they cannot answer. If Bobi Wine is irrelevant, why are they obsessed with him every single day? If the struggle is finished, why does the government spend much energy destroying one man's name? Why fear a man who has already lost? Some say he's escaping accountability. They ask about accountability for the citizens who contributed to the struggle. But let me ask them a deeper question. Where is the accountability for the stolen votes? Where is the accountability for the political prisoners? Where is the accountability for the voices silenced? When the referee becomes the player, when the stadium is controlled by the opponent, when the scoreboard is written before the game begins, a wise commander does not quit the war. He simply changes the battlefield. The struggle for freedom did not leave Uganda. It simply expanded beyond Uganda. What they fear most is not a man hiding, but a voice that the world can hear. So believe propaganda if you want.
Yes, indeed. And that was a writer giving us a sense of direction on how we are going to look at our topic of discussion. Yes, we are looking at Bobi Wine, the man in question, the man who is really setting agenda when it comes to the politics of Uganda, and not only Uganda. Actually, now this is also inflicting also the East African at large. Somehow, many have said that is an inspiration to very many African countries. But the topic of discussion today is him being right now as a fugitive. Does he still have impact when it comes to setting agenda to the political environment of Uganda? With me, I'm with Eddie Cool, my guest today, and we always come back here with some bit of political, situations where we look at areas and then we share ideas. Basically, I won't say we're the best, but we just share. But sure, your contribution here is also at least to come and rub shoulders through comments, and then let us know what you take so that we know we learn and relearn from one another. Bwana Edikul, once again, you're welcome. You've heard the man himself, Stephen. He's called Stephen M. He's into production. His opinion was that for Bobby Wine, at least so he's seeking for accountability. Why is a government all that on tension? The people were telling me, is the pressure on government increasing or decreasing? My answer is as good as yours, you the viewers. So I go straight to Eddie Cool. Is it a nightmare for the government to have Bobby Wine not to be seen on the ladder?
The government is very scared, more scared than when he was in the country. He has changed. He has changed the battlefield, just like your Steve has said. I like Steve's analysis. It has been spot on. His analysis is spot on. How I wish so many Ugandans would listen to it. How they would not be coming up with the question, with the narratives that Bobi Wine ran away. And by the way, it's I would also want to implore you to change the topic. No, he did not run away. He
Mm.
changed. He only changed the field, the battlefield. You know, he left the other side. He saw there was a lot of fire, maybe in the where he was. So he has gone on a higher ground. You know, normally in war, there are places whereby you must change tactics. Not only tactics, you can even change the places. You can change the environment depending on
Mm-hmm.
where you fit best. Bobby Wine is very, very dangerous, especially when he's speaking. This why the government wanted him caged. This why Besigye was caged. This why people like Mwanga Kivumbi was even caged even before, very early, and they even had to kill people. You don't have this why the way some Fumbiros and quite a number of the others were caged even before the elections. Because if all those people were free, it would be a very different story. The government is very much worried about a free Bobby Wine. It wants a Bobby Wine whom they can monitor. And there's
Mm-hmm.
somebody cannot tell you that the government is not monitoring him. No, it is. You saw Ambassador Yebare came up with a narrative trying to show how the government is panicking. He, whatever he was trying to say shows you in the lenses, you look at it that the government is in panic mode. If it was not in panic mode, why would they even bother about what Bobby Wine is doing? Why does Ayebare, Ambassador Ayebare, even try to liken him to a border guy going to
Mm.
Capitol Hill to go around and take pictures? So if he's only taking pictures, is that really the level for ambassador to talk about? No. The ambassador talking about a Ugandan border guy going and taking pictures. That those are stunts, you know. When to them they are busy hosting a former jail bad, uh, Michael Flynn.
Oh, yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Flynn, who does not even hold any position in the affairs in the government in the U.S. You know, only that because he was somehow closer to Trump. Who knows? He's not even anywhere near closer to Trump anymore. Does he even see Trump anymore? Who knows that? But they hosted him and they even hyped it. Now, if they can hype, why does government bring in Michael Flynn, whereas who is not? But Michael Flynn is nothing. Bobby Wine has gone to the source, where quite a number of policymakers,
Mm-hmm.
he has an opportunity to meet them. You know, so the government is so worried. What is whatever Bobby Wine is going to do, and they don't know what is his next step. What is he doing? Who is he talking to? Who is? I mean, at home. Now, people at home. This is why you see that even in the coming few days in future, you're going to
Mm.
see they are going to start arresting most of those other people in leaders of NOP because they know they will be communicating with Bobby Wine, and they don't want that communication to take place. So Bobby Wine is a nightmare for the government right now. And to those who say that he ran away, he did not run
Mm.
away. It was changing of tactics. Just like in football. In football, you can start playing. There's what they call 4-2-4. Then there is what they call 4-4-2. Then there's what
Mm-hmm.
4-3-3. So you can change tactic when you see the fire, the other side, how the other side is playing. So Bobby Wine saw it
Depending on the battlefield.
absolutely, absolutely.
Mm.
He saw it wise that immediately after elections, let me take off because he knew and he was very much aware he was going to be arrested.
Should we say he has been fully calculating the patterns of the former, leaders? I mean, the precedent set by, for example, Besigye.
No, but the junta today, Museveni's government is very predictable on what it's going to do. So he read everything and he knew what was going to happen. You know, he read everything and he knew what was next. You saw, they had arrested his vice president. So do you think they would spare him? They went and killed people in Butambara.
Mm.
They would have spared Bobi Wine? No, they couldn't spare him because Bobi Wine is the idea. Bobi Wine is the Bobi Wine is the leader. You know, is the one unifying factor for quite a number of people. So they could not. He was very much aware of what was coming on. If you remember very well, during the campaigns, he used to
Mm.
tell people, you people, whether I'm alive, whether I'm caged, whether I'm here or away, the fight must go on. It's not going to end with me. So he knew anything was going to happen. You see, this is why he was so smart. After voting, he showed them the size, and now that one is a very big problem for the intelligence, the intelligentsia in Uganda. How did this man slip away? We've been monitoring him. You know, how did he slip away? The policemen that were given to him
Mm.
were there were also others. There was also another layer of security operatives monitoring him. It wasn't only those policemen. Now all of those ones, because people didn't know them, but they must be arrested. I know they were arrested. Yes, because they let the man slip away. How did he slip away from you people?
Mm.
Because there was a level of vigilance that the
Yeah.
government invested in. There was quite a number of other operatives. You know, there was a very the layer was there were some multiple layers.
Yeah. 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 Mm.
You know, so what really happened? How did this man slip away? If he missed this layer, he wouldn't pass the other one. He wouldn't pass the other one, but he passed all of them.
So, Bwana Eddie, where does this leave our intelligence or security operatives basically? Are
That
there look Ugandan security? Should we
that is
say it's easy to navigate?
no, you cannot say that. Uganda has a very good intelligence here, but
Mm.
the problem is tribalism. Uganda security operatives, most of them, they are quite seniors. They come from one tribe, nearly from one village.
Then does that fail doing their job?
That is another problem. And some of them are not qualified even to be where they are. That's another issue. And then, too, even another issue could be they're also tired. They are tired of whatever is going on because they do not see the future. Although they talk about they don't see anything new coming up. We are into the old Museveni, and now his son is going to come, and nothing is going to change. And people are not looking. They're not seeing any opportunities in the future. So some of the soldiers, some of the operatives, some of the security, whatever machinery, they also say, to hell with this. Let me tell
But
you.
we are in some political mess
Let,
here.
let me tell you this.
Mm.
I happened to meet the late Itongwa.
Mm.
Itongwa told me. Itongwa said it that the security, the people who were sent to go and arrest were the very people telling him Yitawan. Yitawan. He even used to stay in the barracks and sleep in the barracks. They were busy. The very soldiers who were going to, they were busy looking for him the other side. He was in the barracks. Now you can see that, and these things happen, especially when you instead of having strong institutions, you personalize them. Now, if there were strong institutions which were operational, let me tell you this:
Mm.
Bobby Wine will not have left. He would not.
But
Be-
it brings me to when it comes when it comes to the security operatives, the son of the president, General Muhozi himself, he might be looking for him. We're having the police spokesperson saying we're not looking for Bobby Wine. Just of recent, I was listening to General Naraiso. She's saying actually Bobby Wine uh, is not an issue that they are looking for him. Whatever he's doing is just running away from accountability. And then we're having another Balio Munsi whose message still sounds solid that they're not looking for Bobby Wine. So would it be overrating the situation, him being a fugitive, or Bobby Wine
You,
running away, or it's just a political strategy?
you missed up the minister and my OB, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, State for Foreign Affairs, Oriema Okello.
Or him, okay, oh yeah, yeah.
So yes, what did he say? You see, these people, whatever they are saying is not connected. The CDF says he's looking for him, even once his balls.
Mm.
The CDF says he wants him dead or alive. He even goes to his house and breaks inside. And then you say they're not looking for him? Come on. They are busy looking for him. They're very, very much worried. These other fellows, if you remember the war in, was it in Iraq?
Mm.
You remember Chemical Ali?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Chemical Ali used to say, no, the situation is under control. The situation is under control. Then we immediately we had, there was one time he was on the show, as we are right now, and he was at a press conference. And then there was a bomb blast when he was busy. And he was saying, no, everything is under control. The Americans, we are taking them. So these are propaganda. And this is how governments run anyway. It's not new. These are just any other government is not going to tell you that is planning to arrest somebody or doing ABC. No, 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 no. You know? So these are the ones, whatever they are, you try and read between the lines what exactly is going on. The activities alone show you what exactly is happening. You raid his house,
Yeah.
you even terrorize his wife. You know, the CDF makes so many tweets. They're looking for him. They stage roadblocks. They've attacked people's houses, arrested them, asking them questions. Where is Bobby White? They go to people's homes, and then you say they're not looking after him. Who is the Rusoke? Rusoke says whatever he's been told to say. Me and you, I'm speaking what with my own conscience. But Rusoke speaks like a robot. He's told to speak this. So what he only does, that Rusoke man in the police, and those other spokespersons, what they do is just spice it up. But they cannot do the reverse. They say now, okay, I can even say it better. I can even make a better lie. Those are just lies. They are looking for him because he's a very, very dangerous man right now. And they want to monitor him. They want to cage him because they are fighting for legitimacy. If they were not looking after him, why did they go? They went to his home. His wife alone told us she was asked, "Where is your husband?" You know. Now, how does somebody else tell us that they're not looking after him?
So now Bobby Wine has disappeared. What's your reading with our security back home? And
I know heads are rolling. There's so many of them rolling in the mud. Quite a number of them are going to be arrested, or they've been already arrested. We also had some of them have been fired. Why didn't they do their job? You know, forgetting that the top brass itself is very stupid. They're idiots. They are not doing what they have to do. They are running the government as if they're running the only family. This is a government. They would let institutions, even the army is not functioning as it's meant, as it is required. They are waiting for orders from one man, from the sun. You know, they do things fearing what will the sun say. I mean,
Mm.
it's not like that. They must have autonomy to read the situations and react. You know, but they are waiting for orders, and everybody is trying to do what the sun wants. You know, if the sun is drunk, they all get drunk. If the sun is this, no, this is true.
We are
Eh?
yet to have a commercial break.
No, the sun is drunk. Everybody gets drunk. Eh?
Mm.
Babi Chagrani, the wife of
Mm.
President Robert Chagrani, she said these people who attacked her in her house, they were drunk. Now, if soldiers go, SFC guys are on duty in uniform and drunk, and I'm officer, to be drunk? But because somebody there, their commander is a drunkard, so they also have to drink. Now they are doing everything under the influence of alcohol. So this is why certain things are not moving the way they must. They're not working the way they have to do. Get this.
Eddie Cool, you are a mind reader. That's one thing I know about you. You can at least see the unthinkable sometimes. What's your reading? What do you think right now in a statement? The head of government, President Yoweri Museveni, is thinking right now in the absence of Bobby Wine.
No, that man, to him, is unfazed. He thinks he's going to use his guerrilla attacks all the time. One, they are planning to see how they get rid of him, wherever he is. You see, that's what African leaders do. Kagame did it. He has been doing it. They've been assassinating uh, political, uh,
Opposition.
yes, from
Mm.
elsewhere. So now, wherever no president Robert Chablag is, he must be very careful who he meets, who he talks to. Anything is possible because the government wants to do everything possible to eliminate the threat. You know, and that's what anybody in power does. You see, so let's look at it this way: two times you are in power. What would you do to your enemy? You will go out and do everything possible to eliminate that enemy, to eliminate the threat. You know, so I'm speaking as government.
Mhm, mhm.
I will do everything possible, and everything possible has it opens. Everything is open. Snipers, those to poison him, anything, so long as we can eliminate it's going to be done. Because the issue of giving him money is a person who cannot take money now. If there is, because if he was meant to take money, he would have taken money a long time ago. Actually, I pity some people who say, I had this other loudmouth guy. He's called Gashumba. Let me call him loudmouth. That guy
Mm.
has no essence. Whatever he says, uh, he makes noise for a living. You know, so he doesn't. And then people also listen to him. I even wonder those people who host him on their talk shows. He said Bobby Wine was given 10 million US dollars to run out. How would you say something like that? That is an insult to the millions of Ugandans who elected him, who voted for him. It's an insult to the suffering Ugandans who want change. To
Isn't
say
that blackmailing the government?
he's blackmailing the government.
Oh, the government is trying to pay, people to be stupid, so that one thing I believe: the more people are paid to be stupid, the intelligence ceases to matter. So, do you think is blackmailing the government, or it's what government really
No,
needs?
no, yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. No, they are doing everything. Let me tell you something. Now they know the government want to. It pays people who talk loud, who say. So they're trying to be very creative to talk, to abuse, to ridicule, to kill the morale of the millions of Ugandans who voted for Chagulanyi, who millions of Ugandans who want change. That anybody you bring in here, it's all about money. You see, so that's what they are doing. They are investing everywhere. This why you saw recently the president is busy meeting these TikTok guys on TikTok, whatever it is. How on earth does the president really sit down and start talking to TikTok guys as if he doesn't have institutions, ministries to handle such issues? He doesn't have policymakers to handle such issues. It's because they are panicking. He even says he's giving them money. For what? He's buying them off, silencing them off. You see? Yes. So now everybody says the president gave them a 50 billion. I don't know how much money they were talking about. Say, me Gashumba, I'm here. I can talk. Let me even say this and that. The president will see me, and then I'll be paid. Look at Mivule, this guy Mivule. Mivule, you heard Mivule's recent statements.
Yeah.
So, bottom line, Chagulanyi is a threat when he's away.
Bring me to book right now. Do you really think can the agenda, the Noop or Bobi Wine's agenda of turning tables be very effective in his absence? More so that he's out. Will the impact be felt in his absence?
Let's look at history. You see, when we look at some things, let's try. Let's not say that Chagulanyi is the first to spill the wheel. No, let's look at history. These things have happened. Chagulanyi is not the first one to leave the country, to go away, and because that impact. Forget about this Mugwana guy who is in Canada, who was chased away. That one is useless. He has nothing much to get from trying to be loudmouth and not effective. Well, people like Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah, he did it when he was in exile. We have people like this Khomeini, Ayatollah Khomeini.
Ayatollah, the late.
Yes, he was in exile, and he did it. We have people like Mandela. He had to sidestep, and things happened. So even was Museveni in Uganda when fighting the war? Was he anywhere visible in Uganda? Why didn't he stay in Uganda? Now, if others, and this has been happening, you go away and then you change. You try to get a grip of the situation, because when you are inside, you don't have a grip of the situation. So whatever Chagulanyi did, it's remarkable, and it was the best thing to do. Now Noop is more powerful than what it was before, because he's busy going to lobby, and they fear one. Uganda is being supported a lot of billions in US dollars to support our economy. There are so many trade contracts that Uganda can lose if countries they may put up sanctions. So the fear is overwhelming. This is why right now they want to do everything possible to see that they counter whatever is doing. But the problem is they employ their tribesmen all everywhere, and most of them are idiots. They are not schooled. They are not professionals in whatever they do. If they, I'm saying this through experience because I've seen it. Look at Ugandan airline here. They employed somebody through a back and Museveni said, let her be the manager. So this is what even happens to those areas that I'm not going to talk about for security reasons. To go and do certain things. Go and collect information. How do you give somebody, because it's from your village, that you go and do ABC? It requires professionals, my friend. So that's where they're going to fail. You know, that's where they're going to fail. So right now, Chagulanyi is setting the again agenda everywhere in Uganda, everywhere in offices in security. They are, even himself, Museveni himself is busy asking about what's the latest. Where is he? Who is
So
he talking
basically,
to?
this distance doesn't really matter. The impact to be felt.
Distances does not matter. So long as their ideology is grounded. Their ideology right now is change, and people want change. It showed in the January elections. People want change. So now that people want change, and it's already grounded. Now the other man, the Chagulanyi, has changed the battlefield. He's now saying, let's cut off this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. I'm telling you, if life becomes very difficult, when aid is cut off, when trade ties are cut off or limited,
Mm.
you know, you'll find that life is going to be very difficult in Uganda. And life when life will be very difficult, let me tell you, those Ugandans will rise up and say enough is enough. You know, they will say enough is enough. We want a change. We want something different. And those guns, just like what General Chinyefunza Sejusa said,
Mm.
those guns are nothing. Those bombs are nothing. You can't bomb everybody. No, you can't. Even Israel now, they've been bombing Israel, but people are still there. But the bomb.
Yes, Eddie. Before we go to a commercial break, hey, I would love to also to say to those who have just joined us, please just leave a comment on a topic of discussion. Your involvement will be much, appreciated. Yes, I can see Brother Ligo. Yes, live and live and kicking is there. Agaba, yes, Agaba Golden. You also they're available. I've seen many people live on Facebook and YouTube. You're doing such great work. So you can always leave a comment, and then we see how we can write on. But before we go for a commercial break, um, just one simple one. How effective is Noob and Bobby Wine's team at using social media, the diaspora network, and the international media to set the narrative inside Uganda while he's away? Do you think media will be of purpose?
No, yes, media is one transmission of information, communication. This is why you saw they cut off the internet during the elections. I think even right now, what they have to do, let them cut off the internet.
Yeah.
Because I mean, communication is going to take place. It's going to communicate quite a number of people. And what is very worrying to the government, they don't know who is going to communicate to relay the information. Here is the thing: Bobi Wine has been in Uganda. Don't you think he has been communicating to the leadership of NUP?
Indeed, it was.
But how was he communicating? You know, do you know that Bobi Wine some time back uh, he wasn't receiving phones in his house. He would
It's
get
true.
out before he receives a telephone, or he speaks on telephones sometime back. Uganda's got a very strong spy system. They got this system from Israel. It listens to every conversation on every telephone without your knowledge. But they failed. This other minister Kabyanga was busy bragging. You see, we have security, we have the internet, we cause a blah blah. But the guy was there and left, and he was busy even communicating. Let me ask a question. Do you think this man just left and just flew by himself alone? He wasn't even talking to anybody abroad. He wasn't communicating to anybody in Uganda who was not wherever he was. We couldn't even knowing that he what is very worrying, maybe he was even talking to people in the state house to tell him that look here, this is the status quo. And by the way, these things happen. I'm not saying this just out of the blue. There are some people also in government who are communicating to him because not everybody in government is satisfied with whatever is going on. No. That's the proper lie. Not everybody in security is satisfied. There are quite a number of them in security. We say no, Chablan is the real deal now. Why don't you do A, B, C, D, and Z? Let's pass over this information. Just like I gave you the information of how uh, how Itongwa escaped. He went through in a military vehicle to cross to the border in Kenya. He used to sleep in barracks. So we don't even know where Bobi Wine has been sleeping. He could have been sleeping in Entebbe somewhere. Who knows? Because the best way to hide, if you want to hide yourself, go and hide yourself just in somebody's nose. They will not see you. He will be looking elsewhere when you are just here. So, and normally leaders will always have somebody inside, to give them information. If you don't have anybody inside, then you can't. It's very hard for you to penetrate and know what is going on. This is why you see he was always a step ahead. When they went to Kavule to take away all their machinery, their computers and name it, they already had backup of their system.
Backup, yeah.
Yeah. How did they come to do that? Because they knew anything could happen. So normally this is a general thing, only that some people don't want to accept it. There must be somebody from within, from the inside. There is always somebody from inside. And now the government is scratching their head. Who is this person? Who could these people be? So that is how it all happens.
Yes, to the viewers, we're just looking into Bobi Wine, him being a fugitive agenda setter. At the same moment, I want to leave a comment. I want to leave a question to the audience as we get a commercial break. Question is very simple and it's just running. Is Bobi Wine truly operating from shadows? That's a question I want to leave to the audience. Or is this narrative is shaped by excitement? I just leave this question to you. You can also involve in a discussion by engaging into that question. Is Bobi Wine truly operating from the shadows? Or this narrative is shaped by just excitement? So let's just have a little of a commercial break. And then we come back in full gear and then we see Bobi Wine leaving. But as he leaves, what next with the leadership he leaves behind?
Of Uganda is an institute designed to prepare students for rewarding careers in the vibrant hospitality industry. Copenhagen International Institute of Catering and Hotel Management is here to provide a solid foundation for Ugandans in catering, hotel management, knowledge and skills required to excel in various hospitality sectors. Our courses are designed by industry professionals to ensure that students learn from the best to create well-rounded graduates. We offer practical training and internships to students using state-of-the-art equipment which is used all over the world to prepare our learners for jobs both locally and internationally. We are located in Kisasi on Bahai Road, 8.7 kilometers from Kampala city center. Copenhagen International Institute of Catering and Hotel Management.
Fellow citizens, a nation must learn to recognize the moment when a political disagreement begins to threaten the very stability of the country itself. Today we stand at such a moment. The continued pursuit, harassment and intimidation of Bobi Wine is no longer just a political contest between a government and an opposition leader. It has become the test of the conscience of the nation, because history teaches us something sometimes governments forget. When the state begins to hunt the man who carries the voice of millions, it's no longer chasing an individual. It's chasing the emotions, hopes, and the frustrations of the people themselves. And that is a dangerous path to a nation. Power must remember its limit. A government can silence a microphone, block a road, and surround a house, but it cannot surround the human spirit forever. The question, therefore, is not merely about the freedom of Bobi Wine. The real question is this: what kind of a country are we becoming if political competition is treated like a crime? If a citizen who challenges power is treated as an enemy of the state, then we must ask ourselves, is democracy still alive, or it has become a word we repeat while fearing its true meaning? Let us ask difficult questions today. If the government believes it has the full support of the people, why fear the voice of only one man? If the system is truly legitimate, why must it constantly defend itself with force? If leadership is secure, why does it tremble before dissent? These are questions of citizens who love their country enough to defend its future. History warns every country about moments like this. When institutions fail to treat political opponents with dignity and fairness, the country begins to create something very dangerous. Not stability, but resentment. And resentment, when ignored for too long, becomes a storm. Let us be clear. No nation benefits when politics turns into persecution. No nation grows when fear replaces justice, and no government becomes stronger by making its critics into martyrs. The freedom of Bobi Wine is not just about one individual. It is whether the Constitution of Uganda still protects all citizens equally, even those who challenge power. To the government, strength is not shown by how hard you suppress your opponents, but by how confidently you allow freedom. And to the citizens, democracy is not a gift given by leaders. It is a responsibility carried by the people. If citizens become silent when justice is threatened, then injustice quietly becomes normal. So let every Ugandan ask themselves today, are we defending personalities or we are defending principles? Because when the rule of law weakens for one citizen today, it can disappear for everyone tomorrow. Let us demand justice, fairness, and a nation where disagreement is not treated as treason. And let us remember this truth. A stable country is not built by hunting voices of dissent. A stable country is built by listening to them. For the sake of our children, our peace, and for the sake of the future of Uganda, let wisdom guide us before history judges us.
Yes, indeed, that is Stephen, of which I think Bwana Eddie pulled him laughing with smiles. At least this resonates the reason as to why we well started with the topics of discussions like this, because he was calling for civic education, where he wanted to engage everyone to be part of this. And when we see the likes of Stephen coming to with such words of wisdom, at least it resonates with the purpose as to why Eddie Paul also came on board, at least to see how we can create more awareness on those uncomfortable questions that we need to have onto ourselves, to self-check, and also to check the government where need be, by asking those questions which are really hard to answer, but they're of great value to the nation building. It talks of a government which doesn't respect opinions of people, because Bobi Wine himself is no longer Bobi Wine as a person. He's just an opinion of the people he represents. So if you don't respect him, I think that's where we're going wrong. You're playing with people's emotions, you're playing with people's hopes, and even frustration. Very cool. Welcome back from the commercial break, and then that additive of Brother Stephen. What's your take on him as later you switch to your take on responsibility or delegation of office that Bobi Wine did to Dr. Lina Zidriga?
I think, let me start with the story. I think that clip must be going viral in Uganda. if it could be played in open places, public places where people are, and if it could also be translated into local languages, I'm,
Mm.
t- I'm telling you, it resonates what Robert, President of President Robert Chagulanyi has been telling Ugandans. You know, because Ugandans must be responsible themselves as well. This, if they keep quiet and they normalize injustice, then it will be very normal. But telling them that, look here, we must all stand up. And I like this guy. He did a lot of civic education, which civic education is missing. You know, you find the way our people reason lately,
Mm.
and you get baffled. I know there are some people who don't like Chagulanyi as a person, but me, Chagulanyi is not my friend, by the way. I met him once, and we didn't have a conversation that we had a conversation. No, I think we only talked for about a minute or two. To be very sincere, he had a meeting
Mm.
somewhere, and he told me, "I don't have time for you. I don't have time. If you have time, I'll come back." But I also didn't have time to wait for him. Now, but what Chagulanyi is doing, Chagulanyi is an idea right now. He stands for millions of Ugandans. And he stands for the problems facing Ugandans. Now, every Ugandan who bashes him, I see my friends like scholars on social media bashing Chagulanyi all the time. But as I sit down and shudder, some of them are abroad, they're in exile, they're not at home.
Mm.
Others are busy running some NGOs, trying to look for money to survive. Because
Indeed,
when
yeah.
those running NGOs, I'm sorry, if you listen to this, some of those running NGOs are only also surviving. I'm not talking NGO like Agora. Agora is doing a very great job, the one of the activists. You know, they are doing a very great job. So that apart, Zedriga Chagway, what he did, he's trying to show that, look here, he doesn't own the revolution. The revolution
Mhm.
must be owned by Ugandans. And by giving his deputy president to run the show, he's trying to tell Ugandans that, look here, this thing is not only about me, it's anybody, and anybody can be a Chagulanyi, meaning anybody can carry on with the activities to 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 develop or to run the business and manage the the party when he's away. So, which is not in a very normal in
Mm.
government. Mr. Museveni has never gone away and given leadership to his vice president. That now you are the president. Me, I'm gone away. You can do whatever you want to do. Let me tell you something here. Many people didn't know, or they don't know. It was insecurity. There was this where Major John Kazora's troubles began. Major John Kazora was a director, I think, I don't know, director of something. And Jim Muhwezi was the DG, Director General. So when Muhwezi went away, Kazora stayed. Kazora did everything without consulting Muhwezi. He met the president, gave him reports, did whatever. Now, when Muhwezi comes back, he finds things have been running and even running. He said, this man is overthrowing me. He cooked up stories and got in Kazora in trouble. Major John Kazora. This is what I tell you. Yes, this is how
Mm.
people do. But this is a public office. Now, for Museveni, he can't leave that seat to anybody. This is why for 40 years, he doesn't even get a holiday because he's worried. You know, the thing is just personal. Chagulanyi is saying this is not my personal project, it's our project. This is why he gave it to say we have another president, somebody else can carry. And he used to say it during his campaigns that even after somebody else can carry on, he was encouraging other people to come forward and carry on. Now, amongst them others who have come up, we have Wais Mufumbiro,
Indeed, yeah.
we have Chivumbi, you know, we have
Yeah,
we have Chivumbi, you know, we have Senyonyi there. All these ones here, they do their work. You see a revolution in them. You see them fighting for change, you know. So it's grounded, and who knows, it's even going to do better because this lady is also tough. She has been in jail. She has faced things. She lost her husband, and I remember, if I remember very well, her husband was murdered. You know, she's a lawyer. She has nothing to lose. She's informed. You know, they've tried to buy her, and she has refused to be bought. Not the Vitano people. She was not going to be given Vitano. She was being given quite a lot of money. You know, and she's grounded into the revolution. She wants change. She's standing with the people. She can mobilize. You saw what was happening in the north, how she mobilized. Most of those presidents they have for no, anybody, any of them can lead because they are good mobilizers. You know. So what Chagulanyi did, others are questioning it. No, he said, I can't effectively manage the party when I'm abroad. He doesn't know how long he's going to be away. So he gave office to somebody else to manage it. Whereas he does other things elsewhere. And that's why, by the way, that's how things should be done. Instead of trying to call it, to try to take it as if it's a personal business. And I pity those who say Chagulanyi is away now, they think as they, is this revolution only about Chagulanyi? That's where people get it wrong. You know?
Bwana Eddie, based on this kind of model of leadership Chagulanyi is having, is it uniting or just creating more fragments in the borders of opposition? I mean, are we seeing tensions with other opposition figures at this time, or we're just seeing more unity?
Why do you ask
in his absence?
Now,
I'm looking at the likes of Munyagwa, who are having, who are having also political parties. I wanted to look at right now the likes of FDC, the likes of PPF, UPC, DF, the Rusania Party. Bobi Wine right now, the fact that he's away, what impact are we seeing here? Is opposition uniting to take the lead, or they're just splitting them all?
Now, you framed that question that way, but I'd rather tell you this. There are parties, not everybody who puts up something is an opposition party. There are people who, no, you can't bring Nyagwa into the equation. No, you can't bring the Spaniard guy into the equation.
Okay.
No. Yeah? If we would talk about PFF, then you are talking. If we talk about anti, we are talking. We will talk about FDC somehow, you know. Now, ask yourself a question: where are they? Where are they?
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, that would be the question. Where are they? When elections ended, what happened? Did they walk to go and meet Chagulanyi, or call upon NUP to talk together and see what way forward? The only party that I think is trying or would have tried, I think anti, and then PFF.
Mm.
In PFF, uh, I saw a post from one of the leaders who said, Besigye is in jail. Chagulanyi is away. Now what next? That was question, and people didn't answer it. You know. Now the parties themselves, those we call parties. Some others, the Lusania came up for the Lusania.
Sabotage.
No, yes, yes. Where is DF? So-called the Democratic Front. Where is DP?
Deep is married.
They're all in ambience. Yes, they're all in ambience. So these political parties would have come up and said, no, look here now. What do we do? Even if the collusion, they didn't have to form a coalition during the elections, they can form a coalition after and say, look here now, let's sit together and map up a way forward. Although Chagulanyi, the president of the biggest opposition party in the country right now, is away. They've not come up to go to meet their colleagues and say, look here, let's sit down, map out something. Everybody wants to do things. Now, if they say there's election tomorrow, then you see them coming up. And that's where things go wrong. You can't blame, you can't put it on Noop to say that they're going to invite them. No, it's them to say that, hey, our neighbor's house is on fire. Let's go and see how we extinguish it. And that fire, which is coming, is a wildfire. It could even affect our houses here. But they're not doing that because some of their houses, I think some of them, their houses are already burned. Others don't even have houses.
This brings me to the person himself, Honorable Munyagwa, your fellow comrades, the one you were with in way back in FDC. Sometimes I find it so tricky, disturbing when he tries to, equate, unequal characters with equal responsibilities. Sometimes when I look at him with his narrative, he seems to be forgetting that he's a political head, a political leader in his party. What do you make of Munyagwa's narrative so recent in the way he, spits fire to Noop as a party?
I don't want to disappoint you or to disappoint the viewers. Munyagwa is not worth discussing. Have I answered
End of story.
It's not worth
End of story.
Yeah, there's something people you can't discuss. I mean, should I make him relevant? When I discuss him, I'll be making him relevant. The man is irrelevant. So
now the fact
I cannot discuss him really. No,
I thought him being once a colleague in FDC, I thought you had a better way on how you can at least nurture him.
No, in FDC, everybody was there. I don't know when I say everybody was there, just like everybody is in Noop as well. You see, in every struggle, not everybody is equal. And people join struggles for various reasons. There are those who are grounded in ideology. There are those who are grounded in the cause. And then there are those who want to ride on the back of the cause. I don't know if you're getting my point.
I get it well.
Who want to ride on the back of their cause. Now, people like those ones, why should I even discuss them? At one point, we were in a conference in Amsterdam with Dr. Kano Kizabesige. He said it openly in record, and it's on record. Then look here, if I'm given power tomorrow, Uganda is going to be in a mess. Because all those I'm working with are There are so many vultures. You find that there's so many vultures, and now you can see the vultures. Others are in NRM. They already left their in NRM. Others have gone from other parties. Those are the vultures we're talking about. Danita Among, the Tayewas, and name quite a number of them. You know, the man said it are vultures. So even the Munyagwas were there, but these were fellows riding on, you know, on the back of the struggle. You know, yes, there's no value that they could bring forward. This is why you see them on social media all the time talking. And when you really listen, and I never listen to them anymore, by that, I don't. Other people who have come, I pity people like George Musisi, the
Oh yeah,
newcomer,
yeah.
the one because he goes into these discussions with these fellows. They're not worth it going to discuss anything with them. And the media and the media houses just do it because they want to kill their morale. They want to kill the morale of the people. They invite them and put them together. Instead of putting brainers together to discuss issues, policy matters, you know, they go and discuss trivial issues, you know. For me, I used to love to watch the front line. I don't watch it anymore because of the people they invite. It's the same story. I
Is
used
it
to,
it's intended?
absolutely, yes, it is to promote the narrative. Let them take their policymakers. You will see what how things are going to change. Let them take their serious brains. You see how things are going to change. But they take their people who are busy abusing each other and attacking each other. You just attack people. They're not now. Let me tell you, they limit me. We are not limit for us. Do you know why government is fearful of social media?
Hmm.
Because our we give out information which is
In its
uncensored.
raw formatting.
Absolutely, which is uncensored.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys go on as if they're robots to give out
That's
particular. They have a
that's
particular.
scripted.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
Ofono Pondo is my friend. Ofono Pondo is a brainer. But do you see his arguments when he's on front line or in the
I
media?
tell you. Mm-hmm.
The guy is a brain. He's one of those fellows who went to Chankwanzi first to teach people, and he was today actually. I don't know why he has been still where he is. He would have been somewhere higher.
So
Now,
that's why you should concur with me on the statement I say that yes, once you pay to be stupid, your intelligence or your intellect ceases to matter. But anyway, for those who have just joined us, we're coming almost to the end of our discussion, and we've been looking at Bobi Wine's influence in the Uganda's politics. Does it really matter in his absence or him doing politics in the shadows? Do we still feel the impact? That's why we came with a topic that says Bobi Wine, the fugitive agenda setter. Back in the times, the man himself, the guest, said the government of recent is just responsive. It no longer sets agenda. Bobi Wine is the one setting agenda. Then the government is seeming to be a reactionist. But in I'll just take you in a speed right now, in the interest of time. Bwana Eddie, how significant is this Bobi Wine's role in keeping Uganda's democratic challenges on the international agenda? For example, in the US, in the EU, do you feel we shall be having some impact?
we've already started having impacts.
Mm,
The, yes, the meeting with Flynn, Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn is a nobody to the government. That is an impact. It shows you how things are working.
mm,
And they made it so big. Michael Flynn is here, a general, whatever. This guy is a jailbird. He was jailed and he was pardoned by Donald Trump. But who knows? He does not even have a ticket to go. They call it a pass to go in security pass card to go to State House. He doesn't have it. Even to go to Capitol Hill, he doesn't have it. So it's just a way. So
Mhm.
that is the Chagulanyi effect. The Chagulanyi effect is going to be felt so more. Ayebare is already busy trying to lobby. And the people in Capitol Hill, they are speaking about that this man is here, is busy saying that this man is a border, but now he's also here trying to lobby, to counter. And a lot of money is going to be, you wait and see in the coming days. The problem is that some government heavyweights can't go to the US.
Mhm.
The CDF can't go to the US. No, I don't think he has even a visa. He can be given a visa. He can't. And there are some others also. The Speaker of Parliament can't go to the US. That one, she's and you have people like those ones. They can't travel. Although they say she doesn't need a visa because she hasn't put there. But you see, international relations also matter a lot. Look at this. Trump has been bashing other countries.
Mhm.
You know, he's been bullying them, not NATO, whatever, and others. But look at how things have backfired. He went into a war. He thought he would bully others to join him. They've refused. So you cannot be a country and you think you're going to be an island. Even Uganda itself, it must be very, very careful because they can be, they can have trade embargoes. So many, quite a number of things can happen. It's not only
Mhm.
that what is going to happen. That is very dangerous for us not to know what is going to happen. Trade embargoes, cut aid can be cut. You know, quite a number of things because we are relying on donations. If Scandinavia says no, look here, because of the elections that happen and because of what is going on with these Mutambala things and quite a number of other things, because Bobby Wine is going to expose them in a raw form. Not that these people is going to meet have been getting all this information. No, they are being fed the information. They don't read everything. They don't.
Mhm.
They have their ADs. Sometimes they give them some information. Sometimes they don't give it to them. But here
So
is
his presence on
absolutely,
ground.
absolutely. He's on the ground and he's going to put it there as raw as it is. He was the man into the fire, you know. So that is very, very dangerous. And anybody who downplays it is a fool. Anybody who downplays it is a fool. And anybody questioning, I'm sorry to use these words, but
Mhm.
I'm being forced because I really wonder.
You have no choice.
I wonder. I question the intelligence of so many of us. You know, you come and speak about issues and you look a fool. You're not even gaining anything out of it, but because you enjoy abusing Chagulanya. But you're not abusing Chagulanya. You're abusing me, abusing so many others. Because Chagulanya is a symbol, you know. And the more the government, by the way, here is the thing. Let me say it as well. Who was made noob? When the government says it made noob, indeed it did make noob. That one I have evidence. Can I say it again?
Please.
Government made the noob. How,
Intentionally.
how did it make stupidly? How did it make noob? By pressurizing them all the time, by making them symbols. Then they said, oh, if we do this, then the government, we are doing the right thing. So they continued and they grew up. And then the Ugandans, people say, okay, now it's Changulai. Now it's nope. Let's go for this one. I don't know if you're getting my point.
I get you. Yeah. Mm.
And the more pressure they put today, if government stop talking about Changulai, let me tell you this. Changulai will be history. Can I say that again?
Please.
If government stopped talking about Changulai, arresting his people or doing whatever. Chagulanyi will be story. Nope will be
Do
story.
you do you still think as government of Uganda, still has that tight and strong think tank? Case in point, look at Grace Grolia Leka, who just unleashed the intern who just unleashed whatever was in hidden secrecy. Um, do you really think we still have a great think tank?
No, the problem that we don't, Ugandans have not realized, Uganda is not having a government, first and foremost. Uganda is having a family. It's a
Right.
family, yes, it's the seven family in charge. The wife, the father, the man himself with the father, the wife, the boy, and the girls, and then the in-laws, then plus these other brothers and the sister, whatever. Those are the people who are in charge. Now, who of those is a think tank? Who of those are brainers?
But if they've managed to have us in control for over 40 years now, don't you think
That is
the
this.
worth to be termed? Huh?
The, what is happening right now? It has never happened before. Museveni has never been reckless as it is right now. If now being reckless as you see him right now, it shows the cracks that I'm talking about. It shows weakness. He's not strong.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He wouldn't react the way they're reacting to go and kill people in broad daylight like that in Utambala and arrest somebody, and then you call him a rebel. Okay, where are the guns? You got with him. Tell us, account for the people who were killed there. That is not Museveni that we used to know, who was smart, who could do that. That is telling you he's weak. Those are the cracks. Now, having a think tank, are you talking about this woman, what's the Narwe? If Narwe are coming to talk, we used to have people who could, they used to have a think tank, yes. Let me tell you, they used to have, Niame, they used to have Tinyefunza, there was Ame Commander who, Mugisha, it was Muntu Mugisha, then there was Salim Saleh, there was Chef Ali, and quite a number of others. There was the other guy who, with question marks, was murdered by Lydia Dralu. You remember that other guy? What was his name? He was a can whatever. Who said there's a lady who murdered him. They would sit in the Army Council to discuss issues. Today, who sits in the Army Council to discuss anything? Who says no? I remember there would be fights there when somebody would say that Nyefunza will tell off Museveni, say, no, 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 don't even think about that. Today, who tells him to do that? He comes with his family to say, we are going to do this. And the rest are going to say, yes, let's do
Amen.
that. Amen. Yeah, the speaker called him the father, the son, and whatever. So,
Yes.
if you talk about think tank, the think tank is his daughter Natasha called this organized jazzing with the judge. I mean, look at that. Jazzing with the judge, meaning what? The daughter organized that. You know, the son is busy in the military arresting whoever he thinks he has to arrest and locking them up. Museveni was not the person who could lock up somebody, just people like that. No, he was doing certain things in a very smart way. But right now, he's telling you that he's weak, and quite a number of things are being done by other people. He even doesn't know what is happening. You know, he wouldn't order for such things to happen. He wouldn't order. This is why you saw he even comes out to apologize for certain things his son has done. You know, so the think tank is not there. There's no think tank. Oh, this who is this guy? the minister of ICT, the one who talks a lot, that giant guy. What's his name? I forget his name. Who was
I think
who was
it's like
who was quarreling with the son?
Baliomusi.
Bariomunsi. Do you
Yeah.
think Bariomunsi sits anywhere to discuss anything? Who will listen to him? The question is, who are you?
Well, for the
So,
viewers,
the,
time has never been on our side.
no, before time,
Mm, mm.
let me say this for Ugandans to know: we had the intelligence, we had internal security, we had external security, we had the police, we had the army, we had the judiciary, we had the civil service, then we had the government. They would sit and they look at policy issues. They would tell Museveni off and say, no, this is not practical. But right now, who tells him this is not possible? And everybody is doing his own things. His brothers, his cousins, and whatever, the Toyotas, you name them. They are the ones running the show. Which Museveni would accept somebody to go and build on a miara, on a water channel like that to cause
Floods.
floods, miserable lives to people when he's just come out into a bruising election period that is failing to manage. So he doesn't have thinkers. He alienated himself from the thinkers. Who is there who can talk to him?
So
And
should we say that's why now Bobby Wine finds it easy to loop into these loopholes?
absolute, that is absolute.
Your parting shots, Buana Eddie, and then we'll call this a wrap.
That is absolute. That is absolute. Here was a government where they would listen for policies from Makerere University, from MUK. They will look at what does MUK say about this that we are going to do. These days, nothing is researched. They just come up PDF, PDM. I don't know whatever they do, and it has no impact. You go with a deal and say this one sells very well. The man will take it because he has no thinkers. He has no, let me say, he has no filters.
Since there seeming to be no filters, does this topic of discussion resonates well with that last statement of yours that right now Bobby Wine is setting the agenda for them to react on?
Bobi Wine is the agenda now. He's setting the agenda. That is true.
As we come to the conclusion of our
and the man is even very worried when it comes to swearing in whether we'll get any foreign dignitaries to come. Foreign presidents. And lastly, before we get off here, this Migwana guy, this other guy in the Kenyan Canadian, that guy, I don't, no, wait, I don't have kind words for him. He's talking about Pan-Africans, that Bobi Wine is going to imperialist, is doing what? First and foremost, the guy is in Canada. He's not in Kenya. That's point number one. Point number two, where is African Pan-Africanism when we're having dictators in Africa? Which date have when have they ever come up to denounce dictatorships in Africa? They killed people recently in Tanzania during elections. Where was Pan-Africans? Where is the Pan-Africans movement? It's not there anymore. Where is OAU? I mean, I felt so, but this guy is a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but the guy is also is a nincompoop. I would rather use that word. He's a nincompoop because if you're an intellectual and then you behave in such a manner, you utter out such utterances. You even draw a cartoon of Bobi Wine kissing the ass of this Trump. I wonder whether he's in his true senses, and he's abusing the Ugandans who want change. And the people should know this. Let me say this with
Very cool.
attacking
Summarize and then we come to the end of the show.
attacking Bobi Wine. You are attacking the people who are suffering in Uganda.
Attacking the opinions, yeah.
Yes, because Bobi Wine is the idea. He's a symbol right now. You know, he's a symbol. Personally, I've never been NOP. I was in FDC. But because I saw he's the only chance we have for change is Bobi Wine and NOP. Now, anybody attacking him, abusing him, what have they done themselves? What are their credentials in struggles? You know, what are their credentials in struggle? Let them give us their success stories. You know, we shouldn't bash people who are trying to do what we have failed to do. If you fail to do, then shut up, keep quiet. Because you would give us you would give us your references that I did it this way.
I wouldn't love you to also to just be a reactionist to Miguna, because I'm seeing the tempo is really going high. You're becoming a reactionist.
But he must get it. Because if he's not told, nobody is going to tell him. Other people are also just dancing in some other intellectuals in Uganda. You know, they call themselves intellectuals, but these are idiots. These are fools. You know, intellectual without wisdom, knowledge without wisdom is useless.
Eddie Cool, one quick simple last one. As we come to the Eddie Cool, let me summarize this.
Knowledge without wisdom is useless. It doesn't matter how many PhDs you have.
Are you a fanatic of Bobi Wine's songs?
I used to listen to quite a number of them. Yeah, yes.
And what happened?
I remember I used to listen Singanze Museveni, naliriddenga nawe mu ntebe. Singanze Sudiru, naliko I don't know, there was that song. Then there was he sang quite a number of good songs.
But in his catalog, in his collection, which one is your preference that you can dedicate for this show of today?
If I'm forgetting, there's some song where they say that they think they know but they don't know. I don't know which song it is. Or something like that. No, that is true, and he was right, because we have people who think they know when they don't know. Yeah? And they want to come and dictate the narrative. Yeah? You know, so even the Romushanas who are calling they call people gangs, but Museveni has gangs. He's using the.
Yes, to the viewers, a big thank you for your viewership, being with us from the beginning. The tempos are really so going high. Bwana Eddie Cool, I'm not allowing you because the show might not end. We might have ended.
Kindly, I thank Afroden for inviting me and for putting up such a show. Afroden has an history of putting up quite a number of shows, social, economic, and political. And I'm very, very grateful. I pray that we go ahead and we invite quite a number of other stakeholders. We want to have people who have different opinions so that we compare not fanatics just, but people who look things analytically. It's a very good thing for us. And I would encourage that we have quite a number of shows, especially in empowering our people, not only civically, but economically. Because when we empower people economically, then they can also go for the civic duties as well. I want to thank all those who subscribe and watch Afro Dance. Thank you so much. And for those of you who watched today's show, thank you so much. And we will look forward for your feedback. Give us comments. But
Indeed.
I had to say what I had to say. And that is what it is. If you have anything to comment about that, comments are very much welcome. Thank you very much for listening and for viewing.
Indeed, we really do appreciate always you're just always a call away whenever I call upon you, you're always surface. That I can't just take it for granted. I really do appreciate your presence. And just apologies from our other guest. We're supposed to be having two guests from the USA, DJ Banazo. I encountered some challenges. I've just gotten some message. It's a family issue. I think one of the kids gotten into a situation. So, but apologies. Probably we shall be bringing him next time. And maybe in another segment, can be entertainment, can be another area, because he's also a man who's versatile in very many spheres. Just a quick reminder, yes, to those in Denmark from the White Party brand that's in September. Please, notifications coming, and we shall be having a segment from the CEO himself or a representative, so that we get more awareness on what's going to happen with the White Party. And another one, slightly, those are ready to go for the Euro tournament football in Amsterdam. Please, it's high time you started, going for your tickets. We shall be having, I think, another show connected to that, so that we get more awareness, more details, and what it is like when you go to the Euro tournament, Euro Cranes tournament, which is here in Europe. But besides that, it's been a show, and always appreciate those who are always online. Please, thank you, and thank you for always not disappointing us whenever we call upon you. You always come, and then we exchange ideas. That said, allow me to wish you a great weekend. We shall be coming back in the next encounter next week, and then with a massive topic of discussion. It will be something connected to a retirement. When do we decide to say we have to let go Europe, and then we go back home, and then we make a living? It's another area where we shall be looking at, as we, the Afropins, or Ugandans, or Africans in the diaspora. Otherwise, it's been a show. I've been your host, aka John Remy Ismogi. See you in the next episode next week. Goodbye for now, and have a blessed weekend.
Yakuyamba munange nakukwata ku mukono nakuyimusa yakuyamba baba nabako wakutuza era nzize kwebaza oba nkuyite kusiima eri abalina emitima egirumirirwa yakuyamba baba nabako wakutuza ekigambo okuyamba ndokizanyisa abangi babeera n'obusobozi nekibalema okukola yakuyamba baba abamu be mulaba abanene mu nsi muno bwakunyumiza gyavudde zikubamu ne zaaka abangi kwabo bafiirwako abazadde ku myaka emimpi ddala wamma tunuulira obulumi abalala basalawo n'okuddukira ku nguudo kubanga basigalawo okubayamba abab'ensamba nammwe abayamba mumanyi okwefuula eri abo be muyambye ne mubasimbamu oluseke eriyo ne benda byabalaga okulumirirwa